Hi, it's John with Vision Advisors. Thank you for joining us for what's going to be an informational opportunity to learn about a new initiative that we here at Vision are bringing to the table. I'm happy to have on the call with me today one of our business consultants, Melissa McNana, who has really spent the time and energy to become an expert in this particular initiative. Now, if you're looking for something out of the box, and to be able to work with a different demographic than maybe you've been working with before, or you're looking to expand the number of people that you're working with and bring a new concept or a new idea to the table, this is something I think is going to get your attention. What if you could have an opportunity to show your clients how they could reduce their debt and when they get ready to retire, have more wealth and ultimately financial peace of mind? Do you think that might be a conversation they're willing to have? How many clients do you know that are dealing with debt issues today, and that's prohibiting them from putting together and setting back the money that they'd like to set aside to have a more secure retirement? Those are some of the things that we're going to talk about in this particular episode today. Now, if you could have the perfect selling system, what would it look like? You know, something that's innovative and different, but at the same time it resonates with the people that you're going to be having a conversation with. Something that's not only simple to present, but it's easy for your clients and prospective clients to understand. What if you had the ability to reach and tap into a market segment of our economy that wants and needs this particular approach, but don't even know that it exists? What about a proven system that delivers real results to the clients who are working in this scenario? And what if it's a conversation that you can learn that's easily replicated from client to client and gets clients introducing you on a favorable basis to their inner circle of people that are dealing with the very same issues that we are? And lastly, what if it was a selling system that was extremely profitable for the financial professional that's helping a client solve the very real problems that they're facing? Well, that's something that we want to introduce you today, but let me first off tell you what this system is not. Now, this is not another boomer market selling system. What we need in this industry is yet another boomer selling system. There's plenty of them that are out there. There's some fantastic ones. We have some of the best in the industry, but this is not a boomer selling system. And guess what? We are not selling to seniors in this marketplace. So if you're solely focused on the senior market, you can go ahead and sign off on this webinar because this is not for you. And guess what? We are not selling annuities in this particular marketplace. So if you're 100% annuity focused or you're 100% long-term care focused, again, this is not for you. What are we presenting? This is a financial concept. It is a strategy. It is a system to help your clients be able to do something unique and different with their money. So what is it? It's a very compelling story that is going to resonate with the individuals that you have an opportunity to have a conversation with. And not only is it going to resonate, it's going to connect with people. Why? Because it solves a problem that they are dealing with. And as a result of that, this is a strategy that consumers across the United States, as they're having an opportunity to hear this story, it's something that they are embracing. Now, what if you had an opportunity to work in the family market, in the business owner market, working with entrepreneurs, anyone in debt, or anybody who's worried about saving for college for their kids or worried about saving enough for retirement? That's who this is for. So if you've got clients in these market segments or would like to work in these market segments, this is something that you want to pay attention to. Now, we don't have time to give you the full presentation today, but we want to give you an idea of a few steps in the process of what is a 7-step sales presentation that engages clients and creates a unique call to action to get them working with you. Now, Melissa, there's some very common questions that's posed in this, and the first question is this: are you 100% sure you're going to have a great retirement, or do you have some doubt? Now, the answer to that, I think is fantastic. Do you want to touch on this for just a minute, Melissa, and maybe kind of set the stage for where we're going?
Oh, absolutely. So this question is kind of open-ended on purpose and a little ambiguous because no one is 100% sure in today's marketplace that they're going to have a great retirement. And none of the people that this particular concept is geared toward really believes that Social Security is going to be there or even enough, if it is there, to support the retirement needs. So most people have some kind of doubts. The second question there about the 9 years or less, that's a pretty good tagline that I think gets a lot of people's attention, especially when you put in the words including your mortgage. These two questions, Larry insists when he trains you through the program that you ask every single time. It's a great for an approach when you're meeting with a client for the first time. It's great when you're giving a seminar, and it's great if you just want to put that across your social media. It will get you responses.
Oh, absolutely. Can you think about posting these two questions? And Melissa, I can imagine right now people are pulling out their smartphone and taking pictures of this, because these are two great questions that you could pose on social media, on your Facebook and your LinkedIn page. Are you 100% sure that you're going to have a great retirement? Do you have some doubt? Your name and your phone number, guess what? Somebody's going to engage with you. And if you can show somebody, and I love the last part of this second question, be able to get completely out of debt in 9 years or less, including your mortgage. Now, here's the key: without spending any additional money than you're spending right now. Now, that's going to get somebody's attention, and that's going to make them pick up the phone and call you to say, how do you do this? Well, guess what? When they ask you how you do it, you get a chance to tell your story. Now, talking about debt, Melissa, when we talk about the average American household, can you kind of speak to this graphic here and really what we're talking about today as compared to, where we want to take them in the conversation?
So on this particular graphic, I think when I first saw it myself, I was completely surprised that so much went to interest. Now that, of course, includes your interest on your credit card, on your mortgage, on anything that you're paying interest on. But that's over a third of your income, and I thought that was a pretty high number, but there's statistics to back it up. Even higher than that is Uncle Sam's take, and that, of course, includes your local and city taxes, your state income taxes, as well as federal and any other taxes that you might pay, property taxes or anything when you get your vehicle renewed or that sort of thing. But still, 40% is a huge number, and this program showing you how to reduce that and increase that little green sliver there so that your savings can put more back into your pocket, secure your future, and help answer those two important questions that you started the conversation with. I think it's hugely important, and just having the picture there so they can see it in color creates an impact on the client.
Absolutely. And due to the fact that we look at the average household today is $250,000 in debt, that's a significant amount of debt that people have. And I know, Melissa, you and I were talking about the fact that, when we think about buying a home and we think about the fact that I've got a 3% mortgage rate, we think that's great. People don't realize that they can pay a 30-year mortgage for 10 years. And at the end of 10 years, they paid the equivalent of the amount of money they've borrowed, but they've only reduced their principal on average by 10%. Now, let me let that set into those of you listening. Traditional 30-year mortgage, 10 years into that mortgage, you've essentially paid the amount of money you originally borrowed on that home, but you've only paid down the principal by 10%. In the first 10 years, over 90% of the dollars paid have gone 100% to interest. So when is 3% not 3%? When the interest is all front-end loaded like it is on a traditional mortgage. Now, Melissa, under the family bank approach, when we talk about the Your Family Bank approach, what do we see here as a difference between graphic A and graphic B?
Well, unfortunately, we never get rid of Uncle Sam. He's going to get his take sooner or later, but we can reduce it by a significant amount. And if you'll look at the interest, that's what's really important. Every dollar you pay in interest, you never get back. Once that's gone, that's been in the pocket of your bank, of your credit card company, whomever you owe money to, and you're not getting that back, and you have absolutely nothing to show for it. So if you can reallocate those inefficient dollars and improve your lifestyle by 10% and improve your savings by fivefold, by 500%, you're much better off.
You know, and if you look at the two graphs, I mean, who wouldn't want to go from 3% in savings to 15% in savings? Who wouldn't want to go from being able to have lifestyle dollars to spend on your own personal lifestyle and increase those dollars, and at the same time reduce the amount of money you're paying Uncle Sam and reducing the amount of money you're paying in interest? Now, Melissa, you share a unique story here about Mark and Joyce. I'm going to kind of set it up, and then let's talk a little bit about this particular scenario with this couple and what the Your Family Bank story can do for them. Here we've got Mark, 37, Joyce, 35. They want to retire at 65. They're making almost $4,000 a month. Now, spouse is making another $3,100 a month. Their desired retirement income is $5,000. Now, they've got 3 children and no college savings. And here are their main areas of concern. They want more retirement income. They want to get out of debt. They want to keep their spending under control. They want to do some college planning and at the same time increase their savings. So, Melissa, let's talk about their savings and investments. Let me back up here. I went one slide too far. There we go. You want to kind of set us up where we are here?
So with their Bank of America savings account, I think they're getting a rate that's probably pretty average across the board. We're talking about less than 1%, 0.25%. They might as well not even have a savings account in that case, because the bank's taking that money and they're making a lot more off of it. Now, this was Mark's Fidelity 401k through his employer, and so he was able to put $300 a month from his paycheck in there. So he's making 5%. That will show you that even though he's making a decent return, or what looks like a decent return here on his $300 a month, that is still actually working in a pretty inefficient way. And by reallocating some of these dollars, he can actually save more for retirement with the Your Family Bank concept.
Exactly. Now, if we think about the debt that they're actually dealing with, Melissa, let me move this slide forward here. They've got some debt issues that they've got. Do you want to kind of touch on these a little bit?
If you look at their debt, these are not uncommon debts that probably the average American household has. So probably even the producers on here can relate to a lot of these debts. You know, most people have a car loan, some credit card. Looks like their credit card interest rates are pretty decent. Some people's rates are considerably more than that. Their mortgage rate might be a little bit high. So, but when they're looking at it, they say, okay, my average interest is only 10%, and I owe $180,000. But these numbers are very misleading, because over time they actually expand quite a bit. Again, we go back to that story about the interest, how once it's gone forever, and you have nothing to show for it.
Exactly. So if we kind of take a summary of their debt, here's what we're looking at today, right? $180,000, we saw that on the number there. But the real debt plus interest, I think, is much more powerful, Melissa. Do you want to touch on that there?
I think this is an incredible number, and I've run a couple of different scenarios, and so this is not an unusual result. Their debt is more than twice as much as what they think that it is. It's incredible to look and see that they owe $200,000 more, or if they actually pay it off at the rate they're paying with their current plan, making their minimum monthly payments, they'll end up spending an extra $200,000. And they have nothing to show for it.
So essentially, they're taking tomorrow's dollars that they've pre-spent, and now they're paying an additional tomorrow dollar to pay for it. And in essence, they've doubled the amount of money that they're going to enrich the finance companies to their own detriment.
Absolutely. The creditors love this. This is their whole plan. This is how they make money. So if you could turn that around and put some of that interest back in your own pocket, that's the key to making Your Family Bank work, securing college savings and a better retirement.
And that's really what we're talking about, an opportunity to be able to take Mark and Joyce and be able to help them become their own banker, where they are relying on themselves and the money that they're saving. So Let's take a look at what actually happens if we were to take Mark and Joyce. Now, let me mention, and I know Melissa hasn't touched on this yet, and I'm sure she will, so I may get in trouble after this is over, but this is an actual true family. This is not a fictitious couple. This is an actual family that has gone through the Your Family Bank process that has given us permission to share their results. So I want you to take a look at these. They're free from their lender in 7.8 years. They save $122,000 in interest that they're going to be able to invest in themselves and not to invest in a finance company. And they freed up over $2,000 a month that they can begin to sock away for retirement. And if they use that money effectively in a Your Family Bank program, here's the magic number. In 30 years, they've been able to save over $1 million for retirement. Melissa, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned that Mark and Joyce are real people, so we're not just talking in hypotheticals. And over the course of the last 10 years since this program's been available, there's been many Mark and Joyce stories out there, but this is the flagship couple that kind of started it all, and being able to flip that around so that they end up having the opportunity to have $1 million saved is just an incredible thing, because if he had continued just to put the $300 a month in his 401k, he never would have had anywhere close to the $1 million. And plus, he never would have been able to put the money away for the kids to go to college and the other plans that they had.
So this really allows, by using one unique strategy, the ability to eliminate debt, create real wealth that we can use to help our clients solve a myriad of money problems that they have. Am I getting that right, Melissa?
Absolutely. And I like that you have the word on there, tax-favored retirement. We want to make sure that people remember that part, because when you are saving the 401k way and you're paying all of those fees to somebody else to manage that program, and when you take your money out, you have a lot of extra taxation problems that you may not see in the Your Family Bank model. So that alone makes a huge difference. It kind of helps cut Uncle Sam out of being more of a recipient or beneficiary of your hard-earned money.
Absolutely. No, it's a very real reality that people come to, and we talk about that in our Your Retirement Reality and our tax-deferred versus tax-free stories that we train producers in, is that oftentimes consumers realize after the fact that all of this money that they've saved in their IRAs, their 401ks, and their other tax-deferred plans, they never realized that the small deduction that they got as they put the money in created a significant tax liability that makes Uncle Sam one of the primary recipients of their post-retirement income that really takes away from real wealth and real opportunity. But Melissa, there's a cost not to do the Your Family Bank plan. And for this particular couple, it was $1 million in retirement that it cost them if they didn't do the plan, plus $122,000 in interest that they couldn't save, less what they were currently doing. They would have lost over $820,000 by not taking action in this particular plan. Am I missing anything there, Melissa?
No, absolutely not. So, and you're looking at that. So yes, their current retirement is $306,000, again, with their current plan, and those dollars will be taxed when they're they've taken the deduction, but they're going to get taxed on it when they do make use of the dollars. And almost 3 times that amount is what they're losing if they don't do this plan. So it's just a significant difference. We're not talking about saving a few dollars or making yourself 10% better. It's a completely change of life.
Yeah, and really that $306,000 after taxes is probably at best $250,000 if you figure the taxes that they're going to be paying on that money. So they're really taking more of a haircut than we actually see here.
Mm-hmm.
So how many consumers do you know that by just changing the way that they are spending their money to get out of debt and changing the way that they are investing for the future and using financial products and instruments available today to create significant and real wealth, who would not want to do a program that could give them 2 to 3 times the available dollars that we've got today? I mean, that's really what they have an opportunity to learn in becoming a Your Family Bank certified financial consultant. Now, very quickly, how's it sold? Well, it can be sold one-on-one, meeting with your clients and having an opportunity to introduce this to them one at a time. But the neat thing I like about this program is it's scalable. And as Melissa and I have talked about this, and as she's gone through the training to be certified as a Your Family Bank consultant, to be part of the vision team to help you with that, is we can scale this so that you're not just doing one-on-one client appointments, but you're doing adult education. You could also create a very attractive dinner seminar to a different populace than maybe you've had an opportunity to reach out before. And Melissa, you've already touched on this. The ability to engage in social media and to be able to use, if nothing else, just those 2 Power Pack questions to create a conversation or to start a conversation with somebody. You know, imagine standing in line at the grocery store and you ask that question to the person in front of you or the person behind you, and you begin to engage with somebody at Walmart or at Target or at Penny's, wherever you may find yourself shopping. Do you think consumers are everywhere? And Melissa, there's one other one we haven't really touched on, and that's working with nonprofits and charities. What's the opportunity there?
I like this program because there is a lot of just turnkey marketing materials available for whatever type of marketing you like to do. Out of those 4 that are above the working with nonprofits and charities, there are already pre-approved materials ready for you to just customize with your name on them. So it makes it a very turnkey system. And in that, there is a second program that takes it and tweaks it just a little bit to talk to you if you want to do churches or other nonprofits and to help people in those organizations be better stewards of their money. There's particular paperwork, forms, advertising geared directly toward them to show them how to use it in their nonprofit or in their church to make either the people that work there or the people that attend church a lot better stewards and give them an opportunity to learn something to make their lives better. And it's just a fantastic program because from start to finish, it's all completed for you. So you don't have to go out and recreate the wheel.
You know, that's one of the nice things I like about this program is the developers of this program that we're bringing to you through Vision Advisors have really sat down and they have beta tested and they have fine-tuned and they have created some very compelling messages. You know, the thing I like about nonprofits and charities is you've got an opportunity to not only help individuals, but what if you could help the people that are making donations to these charitable endeavors have an opportunity to get out of debt? And the money that they would have ended up giving to a financial institution, what if they could spend part of that on themselves, but increase their contributions to a charity or a cause that they care about? Isn't there power in that? What if they decided out of that they wanted to buy a life insurance policy with some of those interest savings and name that charity as the recipient of that so they could be remembered post-death? Some very powerful strategies that could be there. And of course, there's some amazing networking opportunities that we can talk about as we have an opportunity to engage with you further. So what's in the program? Let me run through that real quickly. We have a 2-day live certification that takes place out on the East Coast in a beautiful area, St. Augustine, Florida. You have an opportunity to have access to a proprietary software program that does the math for you and generates some beautiful reports that you can use to show your clients specifically how this works and when they're going to be out of debt and the steps in the process to make that happen. As Melissa's already said, there is a turnkey seminar system that's available for you to use in a variety of different settings. Whether you're doing online conversations or live conversations, there's an opportunity there to use some turnkey, powerful messaging. Melissa's already touched on the fact that there are marketing materials that can be branded to your agency or your organization, so you have an opportunity to personalize these messages to really position yourself as someone unique and different in the marketplace as well. And the other thing I like is after you have an opportunity to attend the initial 2-day certification class, there's ongoing live training. You know, periodically as I'm walking up and down the hallways, I'll pop in and I'll see Melissa and I'll look at her and I'll say, "What are you doing?" She says, "I'm sitting in on another live training so that I'm getting the most current updates of what's working in this program and the success stories other financial professionals are seeing as a result of using this in different parts of the country." And you've got here at Vision and with the Your Family Bank team, dedicated sales support of people that are absolutely trained and have a passion for helping you see success. Now, what's the investment in the program? Well, to attend the 2-day live certification, you've got to travel to St. Augustine, Florida. There's 2 days of hotel and food, and there's a $250 training fee. Now, that training fee, Melissa, that is applied towards your subscription to have the license to sell this concept if you decide that this is something you want to do. Is that correct?
That's correct. If you sign up during the 2-day training, they will give you the credit for that fee that you've already paid. Now, if you decide to go home and 2 weeks later or a month later, call them back and say, "Hey, I went down there and I want to now sign up," you're probably going to have to pay full price at that point.
Very good. Now, if while you're there you attend and you decide that you want to sign up to do this, there's a software subscription fee. That's essentially paying for really the engine that drives this particular program. It's a $500 down payment. Now, the first $250 of the training fees applied to that, and then it's $189 a month for 18 months to be able to use this particular software program. Now, what do we offer to help you with that? Well, here's something Vision is going to do to really help you kind of jumpstart. And one of the things we like to do is invest in the financial professionals that are investing in themselves. You know, Jim Rohn said, if you work on your business, you can make a living, but if you work on yourself, you can make a fortune. So we want to help you develop the owner and not just the business. So you go to complete the training and sign up to sell Your Family Bank. We're going to reimburse you $250 right out of the chute towards that $500 down payment. And then as you begin to work with Vision Advisors and you begin to implement the Your Family Bank program, we're going to pay you on top of the compensation you're going to receive from the insurance carriers that we're working with, a $150 bonus per application on your first 10 cases to help you pay for the cost of the software that you're going to be using. And one of the carriers that we work with, once you reach $10,000 in cash value target life premium with they're going to give you a one-time upfront bonus of $1,200 to help you offset the cost of being in the program. So what's your net cost? Let's assume worst case scenario, you're traveling from San Diego all the way to St. Augustine, Florida, and you're going to fly first class. That's $1,000. Now, if you're flying coach, it's going to be considerably less than that, probably half of that. But let's just assume $1,000 because you want to go first class. $500 to enroll in the program, so that's $1,500. All right? Now, what are we going to do? We're going to pay $250 as a sign-up bonus, and then beyond that, we're going to pay you up to $1,500 for your first 10 apps to be able to do that. So the total bonus from Vision, $1,750. Now, that's more than the cost of travel and the enrollment itself. That to me looks like a pretty good deal. So here's my question though. Can you make money in this program? Melissa, our average case size is around $3,500 working in the family market. If they do 2 cases a month, working 10 months a year, that's $70,000 in target premium. $63,000 in first year commission. Now, if you're working in the business market, $6,000 a month, 2 cases working 10 months out of the year, it's $144,000 in premium. It's $129,600 in commissions. That's pretty good. Melissa, are these numbers realistic based upon what we're seeing other financial professionals do?
Oh, absolutely. When I attended the training, there were people who have already been through the program, have been using it for a while, that were down there that could speak to this, and these numbers are not unrealistic at all. And you can easily do 2 cases a month if you're trying. Sometimes when you are doing your first seminar, if that's how you decide to do it, or your first meal piece, you may not get the response that you think you want, but the referrals in this business are just incredible. Once you help a family, they are eager to tell all their friends, family, and neighbors about how they got out of debt. So it comes flowing back to you pretty fast.
You know, if you think about the fact that, you know, an employee walking up to the water cooler and, you know, his buddy Joe says, "Hey, Mike," said, "What'd you do this week?" He said, "Man, I just saved $189,000 in interest, and I'm going to pay my house off 11 years early." Well, how did you do that? Well, guess whose name they're going to bring up? Yours, if you've got an opportunity to sell this type of program. This is powerful. So, who's a candidate? Well, let me just pose a few questions for you. Who do you know that's in debt, has credit card debt, car payments, house payment? They're dealing with debt. Probably most everybody you know. How many people do you know that have a mortgage that maybe would like to pay that off early? How many people do you know that are worried about how they're going to pay for the rising cost of college for their kids? How many people do you know that are worried about saving for retirement? Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me say this. Prospects are everywhere. All you've got to do is to have an opportunity to take the blinders off and to see the reality that people that you run across every day in your local community are candidates for this type program. So I guess really the question for all of us on the call is, what are the next steps? If you want to get to the top of your game and you would like an opportunity to do something that nobody else in your community is probably doing, and to differentiate yourself from what everybody else is having a conversation about, we would welcome an opportunity to have a conversation with you. Now, there's limited training dates that are going to be available in 2020, and there's only a limited number of seats at each training event. So I want to encourage you today that if this is something that you are interested in, let me encourage you to give us a call here at Vision Advisors, 1-800-505-8489, and specifically ask to speak to Melissa McNana. I'm happy to take your call as well, but if you want to know the nuts and bolts of the program, I want you to talk to the person that is the most qualified and knows more about that here at Vision than anyone else, and that's Melissa. Melissa, as we wrap this up, is there anything else that you want to add as we get ready to conclude this webinar?
I just want to say it's an incredible opportunity, and one of the things that a lot of our agents run into when they're doing senior workshops or Social Security mail-outs and things like that is that the market gets saturated. They have 10 other agents in their area competing for that same audience. Even though this has been around for a little while, you are not going to saturate the market. There's just too many people out there in debt that have no idea about this type of program. And there's so many agents that are just not doing it. So even if you have a couple of other people in your state or even in your city doing this program, you can still make a really good living utilizing the Your Family Bank model.
You know, it's interesting when you bring that up, Melissa, because I was having a conversation with one of our mail vendors that helps us put together our mailers and programs for people that are doing dinner seminars through Vision. And they were telling me that they were looking at their numbers that they were doing and comparing that to what other mail houses were doing. And just in the Dallas Metroplex, they found that on any particular night in the Dallas Metroplex, there were somewhere between 5 and 11 different events taking place at least 3 nights during the week, all with a similar topic and a similar conversation. Social Security, retirement planning, those type of messages that appeal to the boomer market. When I asked them about this approach, they said, you know, outside of the areas where there's somebody that's specializing in this particular concept, and again, even though the concept's been around a while, there's still not a lot of professionals that have yet to engage in this concept. They said, this is a wide open market, and it's an opportunity to do something that very few financial advisors are doing. And not only can you attract a clientele that other people are ignoring, This is an opportunity that you don't have to do as high scale a dinner type seminar, if that's your forte, that you don't have to take them to a Ruth Chris or to a Texas Bay Brazil or to a very expensive steakhouse. You can appeal with less money for your dinner seminar, still get the quality of prospect that you want in the room, and have an opportunity to see success. But a number of producers are seeing success through adult education, through partnering with charities and partnering with organizations. Because think about this, you can go into a business employer that has got employees of 50 or more. A significant number of them are dealing with debt issues. Those debt issues impact their productivity in the marketplace. What if you could do an educational program for an employer market? Again, another untapped potential. The ability to be able to take this concept and speak to it in a number of areas is almost unlimited. So let me say thank you for joining us. Melissa, thank you for your time and sharing your expertise in this program, and I'm looking forward to hearing the results as producers reach out to you. Again, our number here at Vision is 1-800-505-8489. I want to thank you for taking the time to be with us today, and I hope that you will take the opportunity to give us a call and talk to us about your family.